everybody, Simbasic this here again to talk to you about what I bought and what I watched today. Today's going to be a pretty quick update since I only bought one title and I only watched one title, but let's get right down to it. As you may have already guessed, today I picked up Real Steel. Got the Blu-ray, DVD, digital copy, combo pack. Really looking forward to checking this one out. Never saw it when it was in theaters. I really don't know much about it. I'm going kind of blindly into this, but I have seen a few reviews. And in the reviews I've seen, they've been kind of mixed. I've seen a couple positive ones. I've also seen some negative ones. But coming from what I've heard from the positive and the negative, it looks like something I'm going to enjoy. From what I've heard from the positive and the negative, it both sounds pretty much like this is just going to be a popcorn flick, which I'm totally okay with. I love a good popcorn flick. I don't always want to watch a movie where I have to really get into the characters and really get into the plot and think a lot about it. I mean, those movies are great and they're fine. I really enjoy those movies. But sometimes I just want to sit down and just be entertained for an hour and a half. I don't want to have to think too much. I just want to sit down and just have a good time watching the movie. Be entertained. Just watch a great popcorn flick. And from what I hear, that is exactly what this is. So I'm really looking forward to checking it out. It sounds to me like it's going to be a great movie. I do hear that it does sort of come off as though it was supposed to be kind of like a heartfelt story and have like a great message behind it, but it kind of failed in that. That's what I heard, but you know what? As long as it's a great popcorn flick, that's all I can ask for, and that's perfectly fine. I don't care. I mean, a movie about basically rock'em sock'em robots, I don't necessarily want a heartfelt movie. I just want to be entertained when it comes. I mean, a bunch of robots beating each other up. I'm just expecting to be entertained. I'm expecting a popcorn flick, and apparently that's what I'm getting from this. So I'm definitely looking forward to checking it out. I'll be watching this one really soon. Can't wait to see it. So that's it for what I bought today. So now it's what I watched. And today I checked out, of course, another Dragon title, and today it was The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. Now I just watched this one actually back in October. This is about I think my third time seeing this movie. And I have mixed feelings about it. I'm pretty much just going to reiterate what I said back in October when I reviewed this movie. I don't hate the movie. As you know, in the movie itself is okay. It's a decent, again, a decent popcorn flick. It's a mediocre action movie that you can just sit back and just enjoy for the action and the kind of silliness that is the movie. The problem with it is this right here where it says The Mummy. That's the issue. The first two Mummy movies are fantastic. I love those movies. They're some of my favorite movies. I mean, they're great cheeseball popcorn, action horror flicks, and I am so in love with those movies. I watch them every year. They are brilliant. I can't get enough of those movies. And then this one comes along, and it just doesn't compare. It feels like they're just kind of like saying, "Oh, here, give us your money. Here's another Mummy movie." That's really what it felt like. And that's what they were doing. They were just trying to sucker in the Mummy crowd, make some more money off the franchise. You're trying to milk the Mummy franchise for all it's worth. I get it. They just want to make their money. Fine. But, like I said, in all honesty, the movie isn't absolutely horrible. If this movie would have been just something else, it wouldn't have been a Mummy movie, it would have just been its own thing. It probably, I'm sure people would look at this a lot better. In fact, I would even look at this a lot better because, like I said, in itself, it's an okay movie. It's not absolutely horrible. It's a decent, okay action. I don't want to say this one's necessarily as horror as the first two, but sort of action horror popcorn flick. That's all this is, and I do enjoy the movie. The first time I watched it, I was pretty negative towards it. I really didn't care for it very much because I really was expecting another Mummy movie. So I really disliked it the first time. But then back in October when I watched it for my second time, I saw it for what it was, and I enjoyed it. And I watched it again today, and I liked it even a little bit more. So the more I watch this, the more I enjoy it, the more I can respect it just for the movie it is, as opposed to, oh, it's a Mummy movie and giving it a hard time because it is, within the Mummy franchise. So, I gotta say, I do enjoy the movie. It's just not great. I do enjoy some of the, they know what they were doing. They knew that, that it wasn't going to be perfect. I do like, in fact, I'd say my favorite part of this movie is definitely when they're introducing Evie again, and she's doing the book reading, and the lady one of the people she's reading to, lady in the audience, says, "Is it true that the character of so-and-so is actually based off you?" And she's looking down, and the camera comes in, and she looks up, and it's the first time you see Evie, and she goes, she says something like, "I can assure you that it's absolutely a different person." And that's funny because Evie in this one is not played by Rachel Weisz. It's played by some other chick whose name I don't even know. I'm sure it says on the back here, but I'm not going to bother looking it up because it's not Rachel Weisz, and that really bums me out. I don't like this Evie You know, she's okay, I guess, but she's no Rachel Weisz. I love Rachel Weisz, and I loved her in the first two movies. And she wasn't in this one, but I do like how they went about it. They could have just, you know, had you just see her and, oh, okay, it's not Rachel Weisz, it's a different lady playing Evie. But they threw a little joke in there where they were, you know, the people who were making the movie knew that people were going to be like, oh, that's not Rachel Weisz, that's not the same Evie. So they made, you know, they made a joke about it, and I appreciated that, and I enjoyed that. I got a chuckle out of that. I remember like the last 3 times I watched this movie, I got a chuckle out of that. I do enjoy when they do that part. So again, I gotta say, I do enjoy the movie for what it is, just for an action popcorn flick. It's okay, but for a Mummy movie, it doesn't even come close to holding up to the first two Mummy movies, because the first two Mummy movies, like I said, are brilliant. Also, when it comes to Brendan Fraser, I have such a love-hate relationship with that guy. I tend to like his movies. Not all of them, of course, but I'd say maybe like 75% of the movies I've seen him in, I've enjoyed. I don't know what it is. I like him in movies. I like the movies he's in, but he is one of the worst actors ever. In fact, somebody today said, I mean, as far as serious actors go, I mean, obviously there's people who try to get into acting and suck, but as far as serious actors go who get constant roles, if someone were to ask me, you know, who's the worst, I might say Brendan Fraser. I just think he is a horrible, horrible actor. Everything he does is extremely over the top. He basically comes off like he's acting. I mean, every time he talks, every time he does something, he basically screams, hello, I'm acting. Which is obviously not what you're supposed to do when you're an actor. You're supposed to make it look like it's natural. You're not supposed to make it look like you are acting. In this movie, he's definitely hamming it up. He's definitely going over the top. You definitely can just, again, he's screaming, I'm acting. But yet, I just love him in movies for some reason. I don't know what it is. It's just weird. Again, it's a weird love-hate relationship I have with Brendan Fraser. I really don't know what it is. I just think he's one of the worst actors in the world, but I love his movies, and I love seeing him in movies. I don't have a problem when they say Brendan Fraser in, I'm like, oh, cool, you know. Even in the back of my head, I'm thinking, what a crappy actor. Why'd they hire him? So it's weird, but you know, he's decent in this. He's his typical Brendan Fraser self. You know, again, overacting. You know, scenes where he's supposed to be out of breath. He's really like, oh yes, oh the mummies are, oh they're coming. Like, I mean, really bad. It's horrible. But still, I love Brendan Fraser for whatever reason, even though he's a horrible actor. So again, I gotta say, if you know, maybe you haven't seen this movie, maybe you've been turned off by it because you heard it was bad. You know, again, as far as a Mummy movie goes, yes, it doesn't even come close to holding up. It shouldn't have been a Mummy movie. Compared to the first two, it's complete garbage. But if you can go into this movie looking at it just as what it is, just an entertaining action popcorn flick, you might actually like it. And like I said, the first time I watched it, I hated it, but I gave it a second chance. Now I gave it a third chance, and I'm liking it more and more for what it is. Again, I don't like it as a Mummy movie, but just in itself, it's a decent watch. I'd say check it out, but again, if you're going to watch this movie, you gotta put the fact that it is a Mummy movie aside, or you are going to absolutely hate this movie. Just kind of try to block that out of your mind and just literally just look at it as its own decent action popcorn movie, and you might like it. So I recommend checking it out, but you know, it's not for everybody, but definitely check this one out. So that's it for what I bought when I watched today. Definitely looking forward to watching Real Steel. I think I'm going to love that movie. Like I said, I heard mixed things, but it looks like it's going to be up my alley. Definitely can't wait to check that one out. Also, watching Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, I gotta say, you know, I like the movie. It's a decent action popcorn flick. Like I said, just as a Mummy movie, it's not very good, but in itself, it's a decent watch. You know, I can't say it's for everybody, but I would recommend it. At least give the movie a rent. Try it out, and if you've only seen it once and you disliked it, again, try watching it again. Just give it another chance and try to look at it for what it is, and maybe you'll like it. So, that's it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to see what I bought and what I watch tomorrow. See ya.